Howdy, howdy, howdy! Welcome, everybody. How y'all doing? Welcome to day 4. Let me finish up eating my last little bit of salad. Good lunch. Oh, wrong place. Welcome to the black voidness of space. There we go. Embrace the darkness. They're gonna play Dark Tide later anyway, so. Nice, healthy lunch. But don't think it's too healthy because I also had hot dogs. Hot dogs and salad. What a combination. Thinking about it, in some Midwestern cities, that's actually is a combination. You just put the salad on the freaking on the hot dog. How y'all doing? I'm not even muted. I know. It's a wonderful thing. Alrighty. Hey, there he is. I don't know where he was going to pop up. All right. That's not, well, that's a first. Sorry, I saw all of the mass migration over to Hive, so I was like, yeah, I'll leave. And the thing that tipped me over, and this is what's important part, is that a lot of developers I follow started going to Hive and started talking about going to Hive instead of Mastodon. And a lot of people were like upset about Mastodon because Mastodon started blocking some places that got too big. So Hive seems to be the place where a lot of people are going. And for those of you wondering, the reason I use social media for these sorts of things is because it's part of my part of what I do here on Twitch and YouTube is you have to use social media to connect with lots of different folks. And Twitter was that social media for a while, but Twitter is scaring a lot of developers away, so it's a matter of finding the new place where they're going to go. So Hive is good. The only problem is there is no web client, so it's kind of only mobile, which is kind of bad. And the Android version is really buggy, so. I think getting into it now and securing your name would be an important part. If you, even if you don't know if you're going to move over, because even if you get a name, that's what, you know, whatever. Slice the hot dog and put it in the salad. Well, I know there's some Midwestern, delicacies where like hot dogs where you just like load the whole thing up with like a salad. Can't remember what it was, but it's not just salad. It's like a bunch of garbage, just like a salad and like tomatoes and like everything you can imagine. All right, so I'm starting inviting people in. Nope, it's on Spectrum. Mook, get that. Got Mason, already invited. No. Trouble Magnet. For those who are wondering, Paul streaming on a Monday and early in the afternoon? Well, it's Thanksgiving fall break. Thanksgiving break, but fall break here in the United States. So I have the entirety of the day to the entirety of the week off, so I figured I would do that to stream these floor tours with y'all. So it is the bad emergent is just the alien version of 890 jump. That is what it is, Kavion. I said it on the info runners. I'll say it again. Having my coffee in the Drake mug. I'm a corporate whore. It's a useful 890. Yeah, hey, it's true. That I am, Vivi. You just got to add me as a friend. We're going to be starting here in a bit. Hey, Sparkplug, how you doing, buddy? In fact, change the title. AstroPub is redeeming a round of beers a thing? Yes, you can redeem a round of beers. I do need to freaking have that up though, because I'm a terrible sausage. Where are you? Twitch. There we go. Yeah. Perhaps we're going someplace to have some weird Atmos things, because it may be a game, but we're going to. But they're going for hard sci-fi. Oh, here we go. I just wanted to say something about the Orison Atmos decrease. I do get what it's hassle. Perhaps on Orison, it's not the worst idea to decrease it because it's really silly. But perhaps we can have some place that have weird Atmos things. Because yeah, I'm sure they'll have that. The thing is, it's important about gameplay is balance, and that's the thing to really remember when we're dealing with. When you're dealing with, where are you? I got you, Vivi. Sorry, I'm just going to invite and stuff like that. The thing to remember is, if CIG wants people to go to these landing zones, they need to make them accessible or rewarding. Currently, it's not rewarding. And so making it inaccessible is not a good idea. I think if in the future they made it so that all of the major aspects you can get, like things like biggest missions, a lot of money, or like resources, something, is at these landing zones, and people will go to those landing zones. Other than that, they don't care.
You can even take away my space lasers, but you can never, ever take away my space game.
Edward JNR has subscribed.
Thank you so much for that, Edward for that subscription there, Edward JNR. You are a very important part, very impressive pisser, very good pedestrian. This is your fault. You lose my drinking night. Shots and cheers in chat, y'all. Shots and cheers. I'll invite Mason one more time, see if he wants in. I'd probably say no, but that's fine. Thank you. I saw someone else say something. We're gonna have Zark Media on. Have you seen the IAE video? Amazing. I haven't, but I have to talk with them. Zark has actually approached me and asked me to do an interview with Lore about Lore. So at some point we're gonna talk with him about it. Oh my God, you're live. I was literally going to write down a question for Thursday. What's your question there, Jordan? I hate this to become. I don't think Star Citizen is ever going to become PUBG. I don't think you're going to see Fortnite, PUBG, Star Citizen. Though I do think that some people are a little bit too old man shouting at young kids for saying things like, I don't want flashy colors or people to have personality in Star Citizen. I want my game to be realistic. And by realistic, I mean severe trauma from years of warfare. No fun in games. Like, there's no funny things. People won't do weird things in reality. They only do serious things. There's a lot of that kind of immersion. Like someone was commenting, it's like, I'd love for people just running around and sprinting in games. You stop doing that because people don't do that. I'm like, have you seen reality? People sprint around all the damn time to do things. So, but I have to check out their IAE stuff. You should wait at least an hour after eating hot dogs to dance. Never. I will definitely get my stuff. Paul, you're not realistic enough for Star Citizen. Wait, so Las Vegas isn't real? Like this is a conversation I had with somebody. Someone had legitimately, like, I said, I hate those bear heads. Those bear heads are ridiculous and stupid. And I responded with, they're props from movies. Like, oh wait, so they're actual helmets? Like, yeah, they're actual helmets. They're just props from movies. I'm like, oh, so like a cosplay thing. I'm like, yes, they're like a cosplay thing. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. It's like, yeah, it's like, yes, people are. People don't necessarily like go out in like full cosplay attire to go to dinner, but like people will wear band t-shirts, people will wear like cat ears on a casual basis. People will do lots of stuff that's like a little off that you don't really maybe not notice, but in the Star Citizen universe, you got to think of that in terms of blown up, because you know most people are wearing spacesuits around, so people are going to customize their spacesuits. You went live while I'm at work. Now I gotta find some find time to ask things. You're good. You can just chill out and watch. Seen plenty of people go around full Lolita. I mean, it's a thing. Like, it's like whenever I hear someone complain about skins for guns in games, like it's unrealistic to have pink little Hello Kitty guns. I'm like, have you not seen real life skins for guns? There are enough customizations for the AR-15 platform that you could literally turn PUBG to, it is like PUBG is not unrealistic. There's some crazy shit you can do to weapons. America, ladies and gentlemen, God bless America. Yes, we have our serious guns, but our guns are going to look like Louis Vuitton. Caveat, the Japanese Self-Defense Force has some questions for you there, Caveon, because they have anime skins on their planes. I don't think CIG is going to try to make the game for everyone. I do think that they're going to try to make it for a specific group of people, but it's also an open world universe, so they want to make the game as reflective of real life as possible. And I think whenever I hear someone making an argument for immersion being like this or this or this shouldn't happen, my only response is those things happen in reality. You just don't see them as often because people are shamed for doing those things, but they'll still do them. It's for Iron Eagle and Top Gun rejects. Has CIG said anything about storage clothing like satchels or purses to hold items not by armor? I think that's just they're waiting for a lot of other back-end tech to be finished for that, but I think they want to. Yeah, like the Star Kitten stuff. I remember when people bitched about the Star Kitten stuff, and it's like, it's fine. It's normal. Serious question on game dev phenomena. Do you think shelving a big ship like the BMM and making small ship with a needed game loop like a small trade ship might actually speed up the development of the bigger ship long term than doing a ship directly? No, I don't think so. I think it's much more like going to be, but I do think that you'll see more content. CIG is not making this decision based off of speed, they're making it off of content. I think the game loop would be faster if they developed just a small ship for the game loop, which is I'm okay with, if that's what they said. But I don't think that's what their point was. Their point was that we just don't have a lot of designers to do the interior, not necessarily the people to do the gameplay loop, because that's a separate team. That's the team that's doing salvage and resource stuff right now. That's the team that, and the cargo refactor. Those are the teams that would be doing the PU teams will be the ones doing the kind of gameplay loops. Helicopter, to be fair, I thought they say they made a it's pronounced America. I thought they put anime skins on F-15s for promotionals.
You can take away my spaceship.
Spaceship.
You can take away my space suit. You can even take away my space lasers. But you can never, ever take away my space game.
Jajard just resubscribed for 30 months. Tip for the tour guide.
Thank you so much for that 30 months of support there, Jajad. You are a very important pubber, very impressive pisser, very new pedestrian. This is your fault. You're the reason why I'm drinking night. Shots and cheers and chat, y'all. Shots and cheers. All right, let's get started with the setups and everything and stuff like that. Yeah, sorry, Kura, I just got your messages. Yeah, I don't think you were silenced or anything. I think it's just Twitch is having a strugs. Having strugs. Yeah, I got you, Jarkon. Has there been any info about horror gameplay, by the way? Like exterminating alien infestation, creepy delics? Yes, they want to do that. Yes, they do. I've talked with, what's his name? Dave Haddock. And the thing to know that I learned about Dave Haddock is that he's a horror fan. So if the lead narrative, the head of narrative in general is a horror fan, and I can gather by looking at the rest of the writing team, they all like themselves some horror. We're definitely going to see some horror. I personally would love to see some cosmic horror bullshit in Star Citizen. I love for that to be a like a serious, like, do not go to this area because you will just die. You will just disappear. Cosmic horror would work well with Hades and the Hades backstory. Yeah, it's there's no school this week, so nice, Pyro. Congratulations. 890 is always good. Yeah, region has some serious implications for cosmic horror for sure. And yeah, the thing is they are working on flora, or they already have flora, but they're working on fauna right now for an aggressive bipedal species. Not bipedal, for quadruped species is what they've been working on. They've been hinting at it a lot. Oh, the Vanduul ship is a horror show. The Vanduul are definitely a horrifying species, and you can tell that in their writing and in the way that they're being presented. They are a horror protagonist. They're not the vaunted noble Kilrathi. Like, the Kilrathi were brutal, but at least they had like some noble concepts. The Vanduul have zero concepts of nobility. They are entirely individualistic. They are very aggressive, and they are always searching to put their own will on others, let alone just kill shit. I don't know if we'll see a ton of jump scare stuff. I do think we'll see, I think you'll get jump scares just by being surprised, not because it's going to be pre-scripted, but there will definitely be creatures that will sneak up on you when you're not paying attention. The whip crab. You're talking about the whip crab. All right, does anybody else need an invite? Let me pull up the Discord real quick. I see Drycon's on there. If you want to join us, Mook, Vivi, and Phased, you can either watch this or you can hang out in the Discord, because it's going to be a little delayed if you're watching this. I'll get Nexus in if he wants in there. Drycon, there he is. Send some invites out. You're gonna be in and out for my PC, so I'll join the disc, but I'll lurk. Okay, that's fine. Great thing about nav mesh is they can multi-layer it for fauna and hostiles. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, a lot of this information, is. Hey, Celine, how you doing? A lot of this information is based off of information we have from monthly reports. And if one thing I have learned from the monthly reports is that CIG does a lot of work in the monthly reports that they talk to you about, and they don't show it off, but it's getting done. The AI stuff they showed off at CitizenCon, that stuff has been worked on since January. I think it was from this year, at least since July, since like early summer. But it's been in a lot of discussions on AI. Suit.
You can even take away my space lasers.
No pew-pews.
But you can never
ever
take away my space game.
RD Madeira just resubscribed for 19 months.
Oh, thank you so much there, RD Madeira, for that Twitch Prime of 19 months. You are very important, power, very impressive, preserving pedestrian. This is your fault. You're literally trying to connect. Shots and cheers in chat, y'all. Shots and cheers. What does a baby Vandul look like? We have no fucking idea. There is no reference. We haven't ever found a baby Vandul. In fact, all we found in Vandul is males of the species, as far as we understand. We don't even know if there are females of the species. We don't know what they are. Oh, I see Mr. Green Crow reached out. That is brilliant. I like it. My Discord is in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. So click in the description, you'll see the Discord link. Yeah, you can add. You can join along if you want. Join along the tour. Just curious, Dark Tide later this evening? Yes, after this, we're going to do Dark Tide. Baby Vandal equals shark. Maybe. Oh, it's doing that thing where you have to wait 10 minutes? That's fine. We're going to wait for a little bit longer anyways. I'll be waiting until for another 10 minutes or so. In the meantime, if you want to join us live, just let me know what your friends list is and I'll send you send that over to you. Got it, and invited. I will say one thing about this, that this is one of those things that CIG does really fucking well, and nobody else seems to do very well, which is, or no other space game seems to do very well, which is these sorts of events. Like, you would never see something like this in Elite. I'd love to see something like this in Elite, but you'd never see like a convention in Elite like this. You wouldn't see this in Eve or No Man's Sky. It's just not, those games aren't built for like this, but I'd love to see that. Did you know that Port Ollie sells artifacts? Lots of, yeah, all of the Dumpers Depot places sell artifacts, but they're always in poor condition. If like the thing they do best is immersion, which includes things like this, yeah. And still me. All right, let me add the friend list. We're already friends. Okay. I was like, wait, what? No, we're already friends. Okay. I'll send you an invite here shortly. There we go. Boom. Problem with in-game, some would exploit the hospital gurneys to kill the speaker on the stage. Yeah. Ankalimi. Okay, Ankalimi. Got it. Ankalimi. When I did the soft C thing there. But Ansel me is fine. That's fine. Okay, I hope they fix it in 3.18 because that's the flight model. The Corsair will be dead if the PvP and Arrow pounces on me. I don't think it's going to change that much. I think if they fix some of those flight issues in 3.18, which I don't think they will, they'll reduce the fire rate effectively. You won't be able to have as many shots with the capacitors with it, so it won't be as effective as a beat stick. It's token. C isn't hard K.
Good news, everyone.
We get a visit place features in Whitley's guide. Yes, you should be able to. What places are you talking about? New to Star Citizen, have been learning a lot from you. I came from Eve's in No Man's Sky and finally decided to give Star Citizen a try. Well, I hope you enjoy the free flight so far, because it's pretty good. I mean, there's still bugs and other problems, and if you sit through Star Citizen during a free flight and you enjoy it, you're going to fucking love... no, I'm sorry, DJ. I can't invite you. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, DJ. I'm sorry. I don't really be playing with you, but I gotta do the thing. That sounds accurate. Yes. Star Citizen confirmed, releasing in 2038. Must say with these earlier times, I can join your stream a lot more often. Yeah, I mean, I work during the day, unfortunately, so normally I'm not able to be to stream as much during the later times. Got you, Fizzle. Are you just Fizzle Fuse in game, Fizzle, or are you a different name? The places in the short videos apart, we don't know where those are, but possibly. I mean, those could be actual places they've already set up. I thought I had friends with you. Guess I wasn't. Oh yeah, I am. You are. Boom. I'm on CET. Difference in our time is I believe 8 hours. Oof. Yeah, that can be pretty rough. 7 hours difference. That's still like, because I start streaming, because I get home at around between 5 and 6 my time, so that's about 7 and 8 Eastern time. No, 6 and 7 Eastern time, and I still need time to like eat, do laundry, talk with the wife, you know, do normal human things before I start streaming. You have to get your Crusader suit out. Ooh, the fancy one. I saw a Defender fly overhead, but I didn't see the Band of Merchantmen. There's a lot of Easter eggs they hide in those Jax videos. How close am I to switching to being a YouTube content creator in a day job? Do you even want that? I guess so. I mean, it's more of a situation where I'm much more of a fan of. I'm much more of a fan of. I like doing this, and I would wish I had more time for it, but I don't know if I could do this forever. You know, like this isn't something I'd want to do for the rest of my life. I probably will end up doing it just because it's nice. Like I can do what I need to, but you know, eventually I'll have children. I'll have other things I want to do in life. Other, and I don't just use Star Citizen, do other stuff as well. Don't do that, it's dangerous. But that being said, I am still for very long ways. This last couple of months, I've been very blessed with some generous donations from only a handful of very big backers, people who've been dropping a lot of money. They'd be like, hey, here you go, Paul. But I can't rely on that on a regular basis. So because I can't rely on it on a regular basis, I'm still like, for instance, my average amount of money I make between both of my YouTube channels, the Astro Historian and this channel, is about $500. And on Twitch, I'm a little bit higher. I'm usually about $600 to $800 a month for Twitch. So total, I make, plus I have a Patreon, but almost all of that Patreon goes to paying my editor. I do have some money left, but that goes off to pay artists. So that's mostly to keep things like going, so I don't have to do like to kind of make it a little easier. So even if I count that in, that's like $500 a month. So a total of maybe $1,800 a month. And right now I earn, while it's pretty low, I'm still earning as a teacher about a little over $3,000, almost $4,000 a month is what I'm doing with the teacher. So, my wife has the game, and I say, hey, Cam, do you want to play Star Citizen? And her only response is Squadron 42 out? And I go, no. She goes, that's your answer. Yeah, on top of my day job, it's nice pocket money. That's good money on top of my pay job, my day job. And I can do that, like I can take that money and I can do giveaways, I can pay artists, I can pay other things. So like I can improve, I can pay for games, I can pay for new rig stuff, that sort of thing. But any interest from CIG to do official lore with your help? I don't think CIG has that much interest in me. I'm sure at some point we'll, because I know I've talked with a couple of the writers. I've talked with Dave Haddock, and I know Jeremy, who's one of the newer writers, hangs out and watches stuff and kind of participates in the community some. And I know Sherry and Adam and all of those the writers and stuff like that pay attention to the community. But you know, it's one of those situations where let me make sure I get moles regular. It's one of those situations where at some point I'm going to reach out to CIG, but I need to find the right moment to do so. And at that point will be the decision whether or not CIG wants to work with me. You come for aliens and lore. Well, you've come for the right place. Have fun today, Paul. Unfortunately, I'm still at work. Yes, there's going to be a lot of people missing this one and the next one. The next one's going to be big because it's the Anvil Day. So we'll see what the big stories, what the big releases are for Anvil. All right, let's get to the game. And let's get started. Y'all ready to go? I'm going to start up here in a couple minutes, a couple seconds. Squadron 42, Wrath of the Devarin expansion is needed for Squadron 42. Weird, I'm doing great work. So it's a matter of, like, let me put it into context. If I'm in the middle of writing, say, a serialized novel, so I'm writing a novel and I'm releasing it chapter by chapter, and it's doing pretty good, and people are enjoying it, and they're reading it and liking it, that kind of thing. They get to that point, and someone reaches out and says, "Hey, I'd like to make a movie of your novel," or someone is doing like YouTube videos chronicling the story in the novel so far for people to follow along, or maybe even doing readings of it, like live on YouTube. That person I might eventually go, hey, that person's really cool and I like them and they're really helping me out. So when the actual like audiobook version of this book comes out, I'll ask them to do the audiobook. That might be a thing. But while I'm still writing it, I'm focusing on getting that done rather than having to worry about anything else outside of that sphere. And that's kind of where CIG is. They're in a situation where they have a lot of ideas and they want to get stuff done, but they have to get it in the goddamn game first. Things like conversations between NPCs, better background, a better starting situation, all that kind of stuff. I'm using Discord audio because the in-game audio is inconsistent, so. Grim, actually, it's not too bad. I know several people at CIG who do Star Citizen stuff, like do Star Citizen content and still work at CIG. Not many, but they still exist. You have to get some special dispensation. You just got to talk with your lead, and they're usually pretty cool about that. Major Havoc and Lady Space Patrol. I'll get those done. Do. Last chance, Lady Space Patrol. And where are you, Major Havoc? You do good work anyways, Grim. Yeah, you're good. Well, I'm waiting for Major Havoc here, and then I'm going to get started. Tree's just going to chill out and listen.
Oh no! I'm joining.
Are you? I thought you were working.
Sometimes we make bad decisions in life.
Paul making people do things other than work.
It's lore tour.
Yeah, it's not gonna be too long, so it's not too bad. I put myself on mute. I don't want to coughing up a storm. That's fine, Fizzle. I only know one AstroPub, TheAstroPub. Yeah. It's bringing AstroPub to work day, and I have a meeting to go to. God, dang it. I hate this. I need to turn off the notifications from Hive. I swear to God. At least until, like, everything gets cleared. There we go. Let me see if I can see Major Havoc again, because I'm not seeing Major Havoc. He added me as a friend, but then disappeared from my friends list. There you are. Invite. Have I done a video on Grimhex history and why the UE and Stanton security hasn't cleaned it up? Yeah, I did the Rise of the Nine Tails is the last part of the Crusader series. Talks a little bit about it. I haven't gotten into depth about Grimhex. I could probably do a standalone video on Grimhex. It has at least 8 minutes worth of content. I've also done it as part of the Jumptown Wars documentary. There's an entire section on the rise and fall of Grimhex. Okay, I'm going to lurk and play some more Darktide and get all the juicy Star Citizen lore. That's fine. All right, I think we're good to go. I'm going to start in 3, 2, 1. Are there any major cities on Bremen? Reitif. What's the name of the city on Reitif? I'll have to look it up real quick. Stalford. Yeah, Stalford is the name of the city. And it's a mid-sized city. It's in the North Equator. You should be hearing me on Discord, yeah. I think I gave you permission to speak, so I may have to restart your there we go.
Yeah, I can hear you in Discord.
Okay.
kind of mute your stream because of the delay.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'll call me is having that issue. Dark Tide is good, yes. Dark Tide is very good.
For the Emperor.
How did Burks and Zero State like it, M. Walker? I'll have to take them through if they I'll have to join them in.
You know.
Okay, good.
Yep.
All right. This is where I get yeeted back to my bed more frequently than not.
There is a naked man T-posing in my room on my bed.
You must have had a fun night.
I don't know. I'm still fully clothed.
Hey, sometimes some people just want to show. Okay, that's all. How do humans
address you afterwards too?
How do humans in Star Citizen generally live for? Looks like Crusader CEO is like 107. 150 is the average years. You really enjoyed it. We may lose Burks to the Dark Tide. Hey, you're gonna lose me to the Dark Tide a little bit too. I stream it. I'm gonna stream it after this. I've been streaming it off and on. I am officially partnered with Dark Tide, so they gave me keys and stuff to give away. So,
Congrats on that, by the by.
Thank you. Yeah, I applied for it and like it got into it like 8 days ago, and I didn't notice. But I know Gunnar, who's Gunnar Johansson, who's their social media guy. He's been talking to me because he actually invited me to go try it out in LA during E3, and I'm like, I'm not in E3. I'm sorry. He's like, that's all right. We'll give you more chances. So, so Dark Star. It's not PvP. It's PvE. Dark Tide is a co-op PvE experience with a story attached to it, which is connected to your level experiences. You get up to the max level, and then it's a story that's progressing as you're doing things. But the general gist is that you play as an inquisitorial retinue. You are effectively pawns of the Inquisitor.
Capsule now approaching station. Stand clear of disembarking passengers.
Sounds like a time for Star Citizen. Yeah, so you're an inquisitorial. You play as an inquisitorial retinue, and your job is to just do what the Inquisitor tells you. And then there's like, you're effectively what you're doing is earning more trust from the Inquisitor until you reach a certain point.
It just so happens that what the Inquisitor wants you to do is slay a whole bunch of heretics.
Yes. A hive city has been converted to Nurgle, and your job is to go through and just decimate them as much as possible.
Purge. Much
Purge.
purging.
Yes. If you've played Vermintide 1 or 2, it's an extension to Vermintide 1 and 2. So, it's like the 40k version of that. All right, let's go. So if you're a fan of the 40k universe, or if you're even passively interested in the 40k universe and you want to team up with some friends and just absolutely go apeshit on some demonic hordes, go for it. It's good fun. Especially since the director in it is a psychotic asshole. Who even at decent, I think it's Zenith Hall, that's what it is.
Yep.
There is a bolt gun in Dark Tide. You can earn the bolt gun.
I have the bolt gun. It's hilarious.
Is it only for... No, you can get it for the veteran too, right?
You can get it for everybody. The thing is, though, it is as powerful as you expect a bolt gun. It also has as much ammo as you expect a bolt gun to, realistically carry.
Have.
So,
yeah.
with
8
a
shots.
veteran...
Yeah.
Yeah, I was 15-round magazine with less than 120 reserve.
And it's the Deus, the Godwin Deus pattern. So it's the pattern that the sisters use. It's also the pattern that the guard uses, so it makes sense.
Yeah, but it's a fun experience.
So effectively, if you want a good horror, like a horrific themed, if you want Doom the co-op shooter, but you also want, or if you want 40K co-op shooter experience, or if you want, if you just want Vermintide 3, or if you want a Left 4 Dead-esque clone, there's a lot of like people who can get into that. So.
If you ever played Left 4 Dead 2 and thought, wow, the biggest problem is I don't have a bolter, well, we've got a game for you.
Exactly. It's co-op Doom? Yeah, kinda. I mean, there's enough blood for it to be co-op Doom. And if you want to play as the Zealot, then you are basically playing the Doomslayer, because your job is to literally just sprint into enemy hordes and just massacre them with big weapons. Or your fists.
Aggression is the solution.
Yeah. All right, are we waiting for anybody else? We're waiting for FaZe. FaZe will be here shortly. Oh yeah, so we're doing the Aliens Day today. Victor Saltzpyre. I don't remember who that is. Is that one of the witch hunters?
Saltzpyre was the witch hunter in Vermintide 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Ooh, you got a fresh server, Paul.
Yeah. You got a fancy server.
I was going to ask you, what does Gattac manufacture make?
All industrial, all the Xi'an industrial ships.
Oh.
So every single one.
I gotcha. I haven't heard of them yet. That was one that I missed. I know about Apoa, Banu, and the Asperia series stuff, but I haven't seen anything from Gattac yet.
But yeah, for those of you who are wondering, if you're looking for Victor Saltzpyre, that's just the Zealot. same concept. But yeah, no, Gattac is it's got an interesting story which we'll talk about here when we get started. No streakers today? I know, everyone's got clothing on. It's so weird. Hey, Choka. Yeah. As we said on the info runners, it may be time to let's see who this is. There we go. There's Ghost. Oh, Ghost! I thought you said we were going to make it. I got in all the people who are working from home.
Yeah, I'm on lunch right now, so.
Celine, we'll wait for you. We'll wait for you. We got plenty of time. Fizzle and Celine, we can wait for you. But yeah, we'll talk about them on the tour. But they've got an interesting history. But fun fact, they actually have the plans, and at least at one point, CIG said that they're the ones who build Xi'an style whole series. Because the Xi'an do make the whole series ship for their own markets.
Interesting.
That's what Misk traded the Xi'an for the tech that the Xi'an gave them.
That way they could start with like the Freelancer series and stuff?
Yeah, so basically the Freelancer series stuff has got a bunch of like tech in it from the Xi'an. And Xi'an Freelancer forward, so like not the Starfarer or the whole series, but Freelancer, the Razor, the Reliance, the all the Freelancer variants.
Is there anything like the Odyssey or the Endeavor?
Yes, the Odyssey, the Endeavor, and the Perseus, the Prospector all have Xeon tech in them as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do we know what exactly that is? Is it primarily like the thrusters, or...?
It's mostly the thruster technology. It's more efficient thrusters and stuff like that. That's odd that they couldn't figure out how to make ships bigger. It's not necessarily that. It's just that you can think about it as... the ship itself, the whole series, is very efficient. It is simply a small canopy with a large area for you to place cargo that you can maneuver easier. And so it's basically the Xeon said, that's a cool idea. We didn't think about that, of doing an open area like cargo transport. So, yeah. So, Gatak, I would be interested to see if CIG will release Gatak variants of the whole series, which would be a nice way of doing Misk and Hull. I'm going to buy myself some water just in case, because I know. Ah, I see. It's an Amazon warehouse. Exactly. I could drop it. Yay. So we can actually see a little bit of that tech as well in the Raylan, because the Raylan uses the similar technology or similar concepts as the whole series with its exterior hull design. I think that's more likely what we will eventually see is that.
I'm here.
Gotcha. There's T2. We got Fizzle and Celine, who will both be here shortly, so. The Xeon come out with a whole F. Yeah.
The Xeon Cargo Sphere.
The Xeon Cargo Building. Just a flying skyscraper, since they build everything vertical.
Interesting. I wonder if their hull series are vertical oriented.
Yeah. I think what CIG is likely going to do is kind of retcon it and say the Raylan is their version of the whole sea, because it fits about the right one, for the whole sea. And so the Raylan will have other versions which will be smaller and bigger, but are effectively the same concept, just scaled.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Xeon ship components move around with the ship somehow too. An erect flying penis? You mean the Freelancer? That's all the Freelancer is. It's a like most ships are just tubes with small rotating engine balls on them. Inner hype. I know you like the Freelancer, but don't tell me it's not a space penis.
Look at the back of Muke's shirt. Vaporware.
Yeah, it's all vaporware.
Into the skull.
That's yeah, that's the name. What's even funnier is that's the name of the company that makes the clothing. It's called Vaporware. Awesome. CIG takes the piss out of all of the like every time someone makes fun of them or does something, they will take the piss out of it instantly. The story behind the 890 jump is basically just the story of Star Citizen, where like they announced it before they actually had anything, and so everyone took the piss out of them, and then they finally released something, and everyone's like, "Is this the future of space travel?" Like they're literally taking the peeing down Kotaku's back with that ship's lore. It's designed as a troll. Like,
oh, that was rude. Did you see that guy?
He just pushed right through.
Yeah. What a guy.
I think it was landed. What was landed?
Oh, is that the new subscriber jacket too? Is that vaporware or? Is that
Yeah, that's one. That's one of the subscriber jackets you can get. There's like a couple of different versions of it. It uses the same model as the Ninetales one.
Gotcha.
So Paul took over the office lobby. In related news, my coworkers keep talking about the Endeavor. Have you heard the good word of the Endeavor? Have you joined the cult of the Endeavor? Come join us. We are happy.
Might be a crew on an Endeavor, but I don't think I'd ever own one myself. Too big, too much ship for me.
I know it's more org oriented, but I want a Kraken so bad.
Yeah. They announced 890 before it was built. Yep. They didn't even have a concept of the 890 before they built it. The CEO was just like, we need a flagship of our fleet. Here's the 890 jump. So they had a name and a general vague idea that it should be a big ship. That's like a yacht. That was it. Hey, Sutter. Oof. Some water down the wrong pipe. The 890 is just the 890. It's not the 800i or anything else like just the 890. Accelerate faster X1, yes. We definitely need more X1s. What makes it jump? I don't know. I think it's just a name. It's literally just a branding, a buzzword. Lore tour, yes. Technically, this is the floor tour, not the lore tour. The lore tour is already up for those who missed it. It's on the Astro Historian, where I do all my lore stuff. YouTube.com/TheAstroHistorian. That's even better. Okay, never mind. I'm not gonna bring that up. I just got that information. Yeah, the head is up on that one. Much like the Kickstarter Idris pitch, it's a Corvette. It can hold 3 fighters and costs $1,000. Yeah. Oh yeah, that was what I was gonna do. Is that the faction jacket that Wrenches has? Is this his faction jacket? That's pretty cool though. I like it, but I'm rocking the official look.
Do we need to get you one of the bartender uniforms from Horizon?
I do need to get it next time there is a Ninetales event, but we need to have not a wipe to get that.
I might
Okay,
have
I
a
just
there.
I just bugged out. I'm in the middle of space. My MSR flew away.
Okay.
Just got out of the seat, and my character just clipped through the cockpit. And now that's a new one.
Yes, that happens sometimes, unfortunately.
Okay. Oh, there goes on my ship. Don't know where I last log off.
Love? Are you knocking the door? Okay. Okay.
I remember seeing like an old video of one of the IAEs back when they had the Idris actually landed it in one of the halls. You think
Yeah, I
they're gonna do
remember
that
that
again
one.
at
That
some
was
point?
cool.
Senator Armstrong. Yes. Let me do that again. We need a Star Citizen Museum. We do need a Star Citizen Museum. That's a big hope that for me is that they add a museum to the game at some point. Do you think they'll add trade terminals to hangars when they implement cargo hangars? Nope. Nope. You're going to go to those wonderful things they created a while ago called the cargo bays, or the cargo, what is it, stations? The cargo decks, the cargo decks. You're going to be going to the cargo decks, and you're going to be gathering your cargo there, and then putting it on an elevator, and then taking the elevator down to your hangar.
Oh, like over in Orison?
Yeah, everywhere. They'll have some sort of cargo deck like they have in the space stations. They'll probably have them in. They'll implement something like that in on the landing zones as well.
Because I've seen some of the ones that they have in the stations, and then like Orison's got its own like designated one over on which platform? Providence platform.
Yeah, they have something like that too. There'll be something you'll have to do by hand.
Yeah, that's fine by me.
Did they pause work from BMM, or did I misunderstand the last Star Citizen Live event? They didn't pause it necessarily. They said they're thinking about pausing it because they don't have anyone to work on the interiors right now. So you'd either have to pull people from other projects to finish up the interiors and focus on that, or they would have to hire new people and bring them to the speed, which would take some time. There's a lot of other issues with it. The Stoner Sells the new Jax video is great. Yes, the Stoner Seller is amazing. 8-number jump has a battle bridge. It must have been designed by combat firsthand. So where's the military variant? No, the 8-number jump was designed by an industrial designer. So that makes sense that they had a battle bridge for it, because the industrial designer would want to back up a backup version of the bridge in case something went wrong. Get one of the Bengals, transform it into a drinks and antiques Bengal. Also, Artemis is flying around the moon. Yes, it was launched 2 days ago, right? Yeah, it makes sense. I see. Are you landed there, Celine? No! 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 Oh, Celine.
I mean, we might be able to do this. We are at the IAE.
Oh, you stepped off your ramp. Oh. All right. What hangar are you in? I'm gonna go rescue you. I'll be right back. Ah, damn it, Isaacs, why'd you do that?
Oh dear. Oh, we already.
I'm gonna go try to rescue Celine. I'll be right back.
You got yourself a med pen there,
I have one. Yes, I have one for emergencies.
Yeah, it's always good to have.
All right. Let me leave the party because I think Isaac's made me leave group. And then I'm going to Celine.
She made new Babbage.
Your new Babbage house. Okay, fine. Ooh, good. I gotta get rid of this stupid bot. Hold on. There we go. All right, I'll head back in. It's all right. I was gonna have to leave the party anyways, so I just wanted to see where we're at. Hey, Bedham. Run an ad real quick while we're waiting. Is the Car2 all worth the buy? No. But it really depends on what you're asking. Because, like, is it worth it in terms of a starter, like a concept or whatever? Everyone's asleep. In terms of a fighter, no, it's not worth it as a fighter. But it's it's worth it if you want that kind of style. Why have the glaive and scythe not yet in the designs of the PU as the AC like they do? I think the reason is just mostly because they have to convert it over to human standards, like redo the interior and the layouts. Because if you just put it in an arena commander, it's just the things you see rather than being the ships you fly. So they're gonna probably redo the HUD and everything else like that.
Jam out to these tunes, man.
Yeah. They are very good.
A levitating NPC just flew over your head.
Oh my gosh, all the Picos and Storm Walls. What is
everywhere?
Oh, somebody got tired.
Well, it's Heart of the Woods. Do not eat that. Do not eat that. Dolovine.
This can only end well.
That will kill you. Heart of the Woods will 100% kill you.
Oh, should I go find a med bed?
Did you eat it? Are you poisoned right now?
No.
Are you like okay? Then you should be fine. I thought I was poisoned because every time I've had a Heart of the Woods, it's like knocked my health down to like half. Oh, is it a bad fighter ship? It's not a bad fighter ship. It's just the way it's designed is a little weird because it's so vertical that it gives it a big. You're basically shooting a dinner plate when you shoot at one of those things. So it's very easy to kill, but it has a lot of punching power and it is very fast and maneuverable. So, all right, is everyone here? I don't think we have anybody missing.
So
No, I'm still on my way.
Okay, we'll wait for that. Does anyone know if the
wait for
ships...
refuel.
Okay. Does anyone know if the ships you rented during IAE are available in Marine Commander? They should be, yeah. I see you with rocking the Crusader look. Very good. Very good. With the Vaporware and Crusader.
I gotta rep Drake, man.
Yeah, I gotta rep the Drake. Gotta rep the Drake. I usually would be wearing the Drake, but... CIG, I need a Drake suit, all right? I need something that's flashy that has Drake on it.
Right?
It's super maneuverable in good hands. Yeah, it's not a bad ship, but it's not worth the, like, what, $250 you have to pay for it? The Cartual?
Yeah. It's that alien tax, right?
Cousin Crow chic, yeah, it works. It works. Yeah, you're paying that alien tax is what it is. Let me see right now. I'm looking it up real quickly what it costs. It's $170. So yeah, it's a little pricey for what you get. Effectively, what a Cartual is as well is like a slightly better version of a Gladius, and it's like $70 more expensive. Duct tape is flashy. It can be flashy. Yeah, it looks cool. Like I'm not gonna sit here and tell anyone like don't get the ship you want because it's bad. It's like just buy whatever ship the fuck you want. Like, that's it. Just buy the ship you want. If you want to buy a ship and it looks cool, then fucking buy it. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you it's bad. But if you're like, hey, is this ship a good meta ship or good for what it does? The answer for a lot of the alien ships is just no. They're overpriced for what they do, but they look cool. I think the Talon is the closest one. No, Talon. Yeah, the Talon is a fantastic deal for what it does. Because it's only about $15 more expensive than a Gladius, but it's effectively a Gladius.
And the meta is likely to cycle a few times before the game actually releases.
Oh, yeah.
Take away my space suit. You can even take away my space lasers.
No PPUs.
But you can never,
ever
take away my space game.
CTZN3 lag just resubscribed for 2 months.
Citizen Black, thank you so much for that 2 months of Twitch Prime support. You are a very important pupper, very impressive pisser, very new pedestrian. This is your fault. You're the reason why I'm drinking tonight. Shots and cheers in chat, y'all. Shots and cheers.
Tuesday.
All
Thank
right.
Ooh. Oh, Phased, I'm so envious.
Ooh. If you wanna see a real piece of history, check this out. Ooh. If you hadn't seen these before, this is a piece of the Hadesian. This is a pristine version, or I think a used version of the Hadesian artifact.
I've been looking for so long. I am so envious, Phased. Nice find.
Yeah, it's a great find.
Ghost, where you get this jacket?
Which one? Huh?
Yeah, this brown leather jacket. Where do you get that?
IAE last year.
Oh. Man.
So.
Yeah, or whatever year it was when the Herc won.
I missed out.
Yeah, I think they have them for Invictus as well. They'll sell them for Invictus. Almost. This is mine now.
Yeah,
it's mine.
I put one on and then I got killed in space. So goodbye, jacket.
Yeah.
See you next batch.
Game's getting better that I don't have to just leave once I've seen everything.
I need to see if I still have my relic. Totally, legitimately obtained advocacy badge. Oh yes. The day I found it, it was meant to go to the curator. Thank you, Faced. For those of you who don't know, I actually run an organization called the League of Relic Enthusiasts, and the sole job of the League of Relic Enthusiasts, or just the League, is to find artifacts and other historical pieces and preserve them to be eventually put into a museum. We'll eventually build a museum and store it and that kind of stuff. So,
your motto is that belongs in a museum, Dad.
It doesn't. It's not that it belongs in a museum. The motto is that belongs in our museum.
Right, of course.
We're like a slightly less imperialistic version of the British Museum.
That's my luck. The Hydesian Pebble.
The Hydesian Pebble. You want it back?
Oh, you can keep it.
We can find those ones every 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Storing it.
So that one pebble is the key to the Hydesian weapon. That one pebble.
Yes.
But you can
never,
ever take away my space.
Inner Hype just resubscribed for 70 months. I went shopping at a cherry stand and a microphone store. Bought a bind, bought a boom.
Very good. Thank you so much, Inner Hype, for that 70 months. You're a very important pupper, very impressive pisser, very new pedestrian. This is your fault. You're drinking night. Shots and cheers in chat, y'all. Shots and cheers. What's the purpose of it? For fun? If they're not worth anything, eventually they may be worth something. Do the relics get wiped? Yes, they'll get wiped when we have a full wipe, so that won't be the case.
And look down, Paul. It's not pristine, but it's relevant to today.
Hey, Tavaran War article. What is this? The first or second Tavaran War? I think it's just Tavaran War medal. I think it's the first Tavaran War medal.
Yeah, first.
So what's important about this is that I know a lot of people are like, why does the Tavaran War medal look so jank compared to everything else? It's like, because during the war, more humans fought in the military than had ever fought in a military before in human history. It was the biggest mobilization of human military forces that had ever happened, to the point where they actually legitimately did not have enough They legitimately did not have enough, like, ships to pilot for people. They had more people than they could pilot ships. More pilots than they could pilot for ships. Beginning, very beginning. We haven't started yet, Aimless. We're waiting for everyone to show up. We're waiting for one more person. The first war happened in 2541 to 2546. It was the first human interstellar conflict. Where do y'all find this stuff? The ruined outposts on Microtech. But with 318, there are going to be 36 of those motherfuckers all over the Stanton system, so I'm happy. I'm a happy pupper. I'm a happy lore guy.
Phase dropped an ingot, too.
Alright, I got a solo cup.
Ooh, you got yourself a coffee, huh? I feel like I'm being, like, offered gifts. Like I'm some sort of... It's like, hey, we're gonna offer
the Lord
you...
of Lore.
I mean, If it wasn't an armistice
Tip your
zone,
tour
I'd
guide.
get all of the weapons I found.
Tip the tour guide. Is that what this is? I'm gonna keep this penguin. This penguin's mine
A
now.
tribute to you, good sir.
Got 3 FS9s if you want them.
And when we get to Pyro, there will be even more lore items to find. Of course, yeah, because Pyro is older than Stanton is. Much older.
That's gonna be fun. How does the Valk do on fuel, though?
Terrible. But you know, it doesn't. You know, it's really good on fuel. The Corsair.
Yeah,
like
I'm
not
pretty short ranged.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not shitting you when I say that the Corsair might be the best option for future because it's smaller than the Carrack and it's about the same size as the Connie. It's got great fuel range.
Star Citizen Kate did a video of them doing a test run against a Connie, and it won.
Mm-hmm. Lore for the lore god, artifacts for the artifact throne.
Blood for the blood god, it's lore for the lore god.
Yeah. The Cutter has more fuel than the Corsair, but that's a bug. That's a mistake. That's them hitting one too many zeros on that. It should be 600 quantum fuel, not 6,000.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have to go do a pass on a lot of the fuel on all the ships.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like the raft.
Yeah. You found 2 Travaran war models that someone left behind in a bunker. Yeah, they're very. Oh, I love it. I love it. I have one of these. I'm not, but I can't keep this. This is yours. I have one of my own. I'm not going to take someone's vaunted Cutlass plushie. But what was I going to say? I forgot what we were talking about. Oh, Travaran War medals. It's the reason why they're so basic is because everyone, it's like a participation medal. Anyone who was active during the war got one of those medals. So they're bare bones basic as shit because they just, when you go from having like maybe 100,000 people in the military to having several billion in the military over the course of 6 years, you're going to have to figure out what to do for medals because you won't have enough metal in the universe to get all fancy and shit. North, I already have one of those.
Especially if all that metal's going to making ships, so you can, have people go fight.
It's bugs that'll be fixed once the sales are over. Yeah, but I don't think it was one. It's one of those. I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, they intentionally did it so people would buy it. It's like everyone knows it's a bug. It's not going to be that much. They still do want it to be more fuel, have more quantum fuel than most of the other ships of its same caliber, and it should. It's just not going to be better than everything else. You have like 4 pistols. How many MSRs did you own? Celine's just like, I can't just have one. I must have all of the MSRs.
Wait, you could get more?
You could, if you got a jacket depending on how many ships you had. Like I had 2 Argo cargos because I had one and then I got one as a referral bonus. So I got 2.
Oh, okay, that's why I have 2. Okay, never mind.
Mm-hmm. All right, are we still waiting for anybody, or are we good? Because I know there's somebody.
I'm almost there. I'm
okay,
coming up the stairs right now.
Awesome. All right, I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, chat. I'm also gonna take away the fun, chat. No more fun for you, just because I got to remember to do that. Otherwise, y'all will abuse it. Be right back. All right, I have returned. I told you I was gonna take away the fun. All right, we're back. Are all these offerings in Star Citizen God of Lore? I think so. I think these are all... What is that? A Ready Up helmet? All right. All right. Why do you have a Pico Ball? I'm going to take the Pico Ball. I'm taking the Pico Ball.
Pico Ball? What?
Yeah, Pico Ball.
Nice.
Here, you want to see a Pico Ball? Here. Everyone gather around. Here's the Pico
I've
Ball.
never actually seen one in person.
It's like a volleyball.
Yes, Pico Ball. So, Pico Ball has a weird story. Disco Lando during 2020 did a Halloween episode where he called the Count Disco one, where he played up a vampire, and he went around the abandoned LA office to like showing it off and stuff like that. And and one of the things he did is he made a Pico like Wilson out of a volleyball. And so they made it an in-game thing. So they actually made this an in-game thing. And you can find them. They're rare finds. You can only find like there's 7 of them or 8 of them, I think, you can find. And they only spawn in random locations. They're the most rare item in the game. But they're worth nothing. They're worthless.
Cool though.
Now that belongs in a museum.
That
belongs in your museum.
What is this box?
7 or 8 versions.
Right.
I think there's 7 or 8. Just they're exactly the same, but there's 7 or 8 you can find in there. They should have different versions. They should have like numbers on them, like Dragon Balls, because that would be fucking amazing. CIG, Jared, if you're watching this, tell CIG to tell the teams to put like numbers on them, so we can put them together and summon the Eternal Dragon that is just Jared. That is just Count Disco. All right. Let's let me back up a little bit, and we'll get started with this tour. Y'all ready? So I'm gonna be recording this, so I'll be talking to y'all and to YouTube as well. So a raid boss. Oh yes, collect all 7 Pico Balls to summon Count Disco. That is their raid boss that you have to defeat. All right.
That's an awesome idea.
I'll wait for this alert to go away. Welcome back to the floor of IAE 2952. It is Alien Manufacturers Day here on the floor, and I'm here with a bunch of folks who are taking a tour with me. I'm going to walk them around the floor and talk about the ships and the companies that are presented, about what ships are good for, and a little bit about the lore and the other such like that. So if you're enjoying this, make sure you like the video, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and make sure you hit the little bell icon to be notified when these go out, because we'll be here doing this all throughout IAE from now until the Sunday or Saturday. So make sure you do that if you want to come join us live at 3 p.m. Eastern, twitch.tv/TheAstroPub or youtube.com/TheAstroPub live. That being said, let's get started. So there are 3 manufacturers here on the floor today. The first manufacturer we'll talk about is the Banu. So when I explain the Banu, it's important to understand that the Banu are not really... They're not really a manufacturer. The Banu are... they have these things called Sulis. Suli is the basic part of the Banu society. Sulis are like a family, but they're also like a company. And they are run by usually small groups. They can be pretty big, but they're also pretty small. And there is no concept of IP infringement or IP in general in Banu society. So if you know how to make something, you just make it. And if you make it better, you can sell it better. So what we see from the Banu who are on offer is effectively export versions that have been given a very specific loadout to be consistent with human regulations and such. And that's what the Protectorate does in general, is they're just, all these Sulis come together and decide how do they deal with the outside that aren't Banu, that don't understand Sulis and their concepts. So it's more of a collective idea. So that is the Banu Sulis. With that, let's go look at the only Banu offering here, and then we'll move on. The Defender. Sadly, the Merchantman is not in the view, otherwise, the gallery view, otherwise we'd be going to see it, but now there's none of that. It's just the Defender. So the Defender is the oldest ship that we know of in the Banu fleet, because when Banu and humanity made first contact, the pilot of that Banu ship was named Jerry. That Jerry was flying a Banu Defender that he had stolen to go exploring on his own. Well, to be fair, Jerry had been smuggling funds to start his own exploration endeavor before he got caught, and then still panicked and stole the Defender and ran away. But the Defender is, because the Banu don't actually keep records of their own history, this is all we know about him, is that they this is the first ship we've encountered with them. So we know it's at least 500 years old. But the Banu do not just sit there and do nothing. They always update with the best and the greatest and the best things they think they can work with their ships or even their technology. So the Banu Defender is a hodgepodge of alien technologies. It has Banu weapons, it has Xi'an thrusters, and it has Tavaran shields. In fact, the Banu Defender is the only ship that has a Tavaran phalanx shield still installed on it, a modernized version of it, which was one of the best shield technologies in human history, or in the galaxy. But the Defender is, if we can come in here, it's actually partially organic. Take a look. It's kind of hard to see because it gets a little dark in here. But you can see around you that these sort of hulls are partially grown, not just built as part of this. They're kind of grown into these molding areas, as well as kind of built around. It's kind of a combination of biotech and regular technology. It is two-seater. Each of the little arms has its own little seat, and it's a decent little fighter. It's a pretty good for what it's designed to do. But the Defender is, again, alien in the fact that it doesn't really fight for any reason. It's not something that you would fly if you wanted to beat somebody else in a 1v1 fight, because it's designed to be annoying. It's designed to kite enemies away from the targets they're trying to hit, and to be maneuverable, and to kind of be bait away targets. Just trying to show you that how different it is compared to other aliens. This is 100% designed as with the Banu culture in mind, where the Defender doesn't matter. What matters is the merchants that the Defenders are protecting. So that's the Banu Merchantman. Now let's go over and look at the offerings from the Xi'an. Start over here with the Cartual. All right, so this is the Cartual made by Aopoa. Just like the Banu, the Xi'an don't really have the same concepts of companies like we do. Their concept of companies is actually based off of their great house system. So Aopoa isn't just a manufacturer, they're also a great house. So in this case, Aopoa is the name of the company that's run by House Poa. So every company in the Xi'an Empire is controlled by the Xi'an government and is subservient to the Xi'an Emperor. They also have a role that's given to them by the Emperor themselves. So Aopoa is in charge of just light craft. So if you're looking at any kind of fighter or any kind of ground vehicle that's fast and light, you're dealing with Aopoa. So the Xi'an Aopoa, the Aopoa Cartual, I believe this is called, Cartual? Yeah, the Cartual. The Cartual literally means in Xi'an, Direfly export. So this is the Direfly export version. So the Cartu is just a Direfly, and it is a lightweight fighter designed for some light reconnaissance and interception and such. In fact, there is a military version of this very ship, which humans have been seeing flying around since the Cold War, since the Geon-Human Cold War. And fun fact, this ship itself was the inspiration, partially the inspiration for the IAE. It's a long story, but the woman who founded the IAE way back in the day got inspired to build her own Geon thrusters from a captured Kar-2-Al that was then showed off, that she tried to reverse engineer based off of what she saw in the military to kind of add her own thrusters to an Aurora. It didn't work out, but they were able to kind of study that whole concept was what ended up being the impetus behind the IAE in general. So the Kar-2-Al is partially the reason. It's the grandfather of the whole IAE phenomena as it is today. Now, this is not a very good combat ship, but it's not really designed to be a combat ship. Again, it's much more of a light reconnaissance ship. But you can see a lot of it. These stairs are actually floating. You can see that this is all hover technology that they've developed specifically for the Kar-2, or for all of their ships, actually. And this will transform when it flies into a kind of a big starfish pattern. So, yeah, it's just a light fighter. Now, with that, we're going to go on over to what's on offer from Asperia. We'll start with the Prowler here.
Just a quick question about the Geon.
Yeah.
Isn't it Empress like? Never mind.
Empress.
Empress.
No,
yeah.
they use a gender neutral term for emperor, male or female. They use emperor. So they don't have like a version for, because they're a female dominated society. So this is the Prowler, and to understand the Prowler, we have to understand the Asperia brother, or the brothers who created Asperia, which was let me pull up my notes real quickly because I have their names. The Ingstrom brothers. The two Ingstrom brothers were from Terra, and they grew up fascinated with old, lost technology, specifically ships that were designed but never saw production. Maybe they saw one version of a test version, but most of them just never left the drawing boards. They were fascinated by these old ideas that were eventually big failures, giant failures. And they started to collect them themselves, and that's what they founded Asperia for originally. Their idea was to preserve these old ideas for future use, so future engineers could learn from the mistakes and learn for like what happened and what worked. This process made a lot of money. Now, we don't know exactly how it made them a lot of money, but my guess is that a lot of people began to purchase these blueprints to see some of these old ideas. Maybe they got inspiration. They heard about this crazy idea that someone had 200 years ago, and the only person who has the records of those files was Asperia. So Asperia made a ton of money based off of archiving all of these old ship concepts. And then they decided, hey, why don't we try to make some of these ship concepts ourselves? And that was the founding of Asperia. Now, originally, Asperia only did human ships, but as they continued to expand, they have an entire division dedicated to alien technologies, which is where we see these. Now, to understand the Tavaran ships, like the Prowler here, we have to understand about the system of Cabal. Cabal was discovered pretty early, I think 2941, so it's fairly recent discovery. But on Cabal, they found I think Cabal 3, they found a naturally habitable planet with a old abandoned Tavaran city, a Tavaran colony, that was just abandoned, just up and left. So there were several functioning, complete versions of the Prowler and the Talon and other Tavaran ships that Asperia was granted access by the UAE to come in and investigate. So the Asperia hired Tavaran engineers, scientists, historians, and humans as well to go in and catalog everything, figure out what worked, and they eventually took a couple of these intact, complete original Prowlers and Talons and dissected them to kind of recreate them piece by piece, meticulously to a modern, but then upgraded to like a modern standard to be able to take modern components and such. And as a result, they've released the Prowler and the 2 Talons. Now, the Prowler here is an impressive ship. It's a drop ship, but it's considered a stealth drop ship. The purpose of the Prowler is for the elite warriors known as the Naule. The Naule were a covert group of warriors who would come in to would be dropped off by a Prowler, would be able to infiltrate a capital ship, especially a human capital ship, and they were able to slice their way in and destroy, kill, or incapacitate the entire crew before anyone raised an alarm. So Prowlers were the stuff of nightmares for UEE and UPE Navy personnel on carriers. They were the boogeyman that how good they were. It was used for the First and Second Tevarin War and used very effectively. The thing was, and this may have changed a little bit, the concept was that the Prowler could also convert into a hover tank. Whereas when it got into this mode of kind of more of landing mode, it could use hover pads on the bottom to become a ground vehicle and use its weapons as more of a, for ground-based offensive purposes as well, but without having to use as much fuel for its thrusters. I think that's changed a little bit, but that's the concept. From that, let's go over to talk about the Talons. All right, so this is the Talon, the Tevarin Talon. So the Tevarin Talons were the scourge of the UEE and the UPE. Talons are lightweight, mostly ground attack, but they do also ambush fighters. These things supposedly had a growl, a scream when they dived in atmosphere that was unique, that could to tell them a mile away. They were very effective, and the thing that made them super effective is that, yes, they're small, but for the time, they were the only ships that humanity had ever encountered that were this small that were able to carry a shield on them. None of the humanity's small ships were able to carry a shield. So this was a revolution to human engineering. Captured Talons would eventually be how humanity was able to reverse engineer this tech to use shield tech that we have today. Shield tech had existed before, but only in big ships with big power, because they're power hungry, with big generators to be able to work them. So smaller ships just didn't have them. So the Talon was a huge success for that. But again, super terrifying. Then with that, we always come over here to the Talon Shrike. We're walking over here. Stick together. We're all good. So this is the Talon Shrike. The Talon Shrike is a different version of the Talon, but it actually has a reason for it. The Talon was upgraded between the First and Second Tevarin War to deal with the issues of... What was it? To deal with the issues of humanity having shield technology now that the Tevarin had. So they swapped out some of the guns on the Talon for some missile bays to allow them to be more effective at taking out human ships. And while they haven't found intact Tevarin Shrikes, Talon Shrikes, they did take the intact Tevarin Talons they had originally and kind of modify them as to the specifications that historical records have shown what the Shrike was look like. Because that's pretty much what it was. It was a modified Talon. Now, from the Asperia Tevarin ships to the Asperia Vandul ships. Let's go over here to the Blade. So this is the Blade, the bane of many a pilot in the UEE. The Blade, have a little tough time there. The Blade is a light fighter. It's a Vandul light fighter. Humanity has captured several of these and have pulled them apart to study them over the years. And Asperia got a contract from the UAE military to build one-to-one replicas for training. So there were a ton of these ships that were built between 2930 and 2940, but the contract ended in 2940, and the UAE did not want to re-up the contract for more blades, so many of these blades ended up getting retired. But these ships were then taken from the scrapyards after the Battle of Oberon and refitted for and to be sold as militia ships for human defense, which is a bit of a controversy that Asperia's gotten in trouble for. But this is a completely one-to-one recreation of the blade, but it's not a actual Tavaran or Vanduul blade. This is just a recreation of it. It's a human mock-up of one. It's almost the same thing, but yeah. With that, let's head over to the glaive. Now, the one thing y'all should know about the Vanduul is that they are very much fans of melee combat, both in space and on ground and with their ships. All of their the main way that they deal with threats is by attacking them with blades of some kind. Blades are almost sacred in Vanduul culture as far as we can tell. So a glaive is simply a scythe, but instead of having one blade, it has two blades. So these are not just wings. These actually have some legitimate blade hidden inside of it that can pop out to attack when you ram another target. So this ship was designed by the Vanduul specifically as a ace ship. These are things that high-ranking Vanduuls and Vanduul pilots who've shown that they are good in combat will graduate to after they've gone from the blade. They go to the scythe and then to the glaive here. Now the glaive is this is actually, again, a recreation by the people at Asperia. And the reason why it is so well loved, so well known, is because of its place in Arena Commander. The UAE Navy asked Original Systems, the developers behind the video game Arena Commander, to add the glaive in their vaunted update to Vanduul Swarm. It actually gave them a lot of data to recreate it in their simulations. Now, at the same time, the UAE had commissioned several of these glaives for practice, for pilots to test against. So when Arena Commander came out with its new iteration of Vanduul Swarm, they decided that they were going to partner with Asperia and to make several of these available to people who completed Vanduul Swarm. So they purchase it, but you had to earn your reputation through beating Vanduul Swarm before you could buy some of these recreations of glaives. So they're very rare and very difficult to acquire, but you can see them in verse. And again, these are not Vanduul ships. They are copies, versions of Vanduul ships. With that being said, let's go to look at the Nox and then the other ships that are going to be on offer in the future. Come with me. My sound is popping? Yeah. I don't know why it's popping. I'd have to go through and completely rejig my audio equipment, and I'm just not going to do that right now. So. Yeah, I'll do this. That's probably a little bit better. It's probably something else, but... All right. So here is the Nox. Now, the Nox is made by Aopoa. And it is, it's a unique concept because this is one of the first ships that was developed by an alien species specifically to counter or as a mimic of a human ship. So on a planet called Oya 3, there are Xi'an and human colonies. And so the Xi'an and human colonists would often mingle, mix together, have cultural exchanges, and so on and so forth. Well, in the late 29th century, several of these colonists on Oya 3 got their hands on drake dragonflies. The Xi'an had never seen something like this and asked to fly them around, and they did. Reports got back from the Xi'an of how fun it was to fly these dragonflies, and the Aopoa asked if they could build a version of the dragonfly by themselves. And the emperor agreed, so Aopoa came up with the Nox. So this is the Aopoa Nox, which is just like I said, it's a version of the dragonfly. It's Xi'an version, so it's faster, more maneuverable, and so on and so forth, with better hover tech. But this is literally just a copy of the dragonfly. It's their version of a dragonfly when it came to like how they wanted to make it. But they didn't have this concept before of the open top racer. From that, let's move over to the ships that are not quite in the game, but will be in the game soon. What do you think is the best alien ship to use or get? Well, I'll answer that here after this. All right. So now I get to tell you about Ghatak. So Ghatak is a manufacturer from the Xi'an Empire, just like Aopoa. They are a specific manufacturer. They don't have the luxury of manufacturing whatever they want to. They can only manufacture industrial ships. But the family that runs, the house that runs Ghatak, had close ties to the first emperor of the Xi'an Empire. So when that first emperor ascended to the power, they gave the family that owns Ghatak, the company, in perpetuity, the right to make industrial ships. So no one can challenge their right to make industrial ships. They are the industrial ship manufacturer for the Xi'an. And they take this role very seriously because Ghatak goes at length to go to any ship conferences they can find in human or Banu space and go there to study. How do other species build their ships? What technologies do they use? What's efficient? What isn't efficient? They go in depth with their studies of other spacecraft technologies, which is how and why Aopoa was able to talk with Misk. Famously, Misk and Aopoa have worked together and traded technologies as well as engineers to help each other build more tech, kind of as a cross-cultural exchange, which is why the Khartu-Al was the first ship to ever be introduced into human space for humans to fly, because of their connections with Misk. Now, Ghatak actually has the rights to make industrial ships, so any of the technologies that was gleaned from Misk was not to be used by Aopoa, but given to Ghatak because of their status as the industrial ship manufacturer. So Ghatak took a lot of ideas from the whole series, and I believe this is the reason why we have the Raylan. The Raylan is not just a Xi'an ship, it is a hybrid ship. This ship is designed to be a human and Xi'an co-captained, co-run ship. There are facilities that are designed exclusively for Xi'an and exclusively for humanity on these vessels. So it's designed to be sold to both markets at the same time. However, you can see that in the back here, these little pods are all detachable, similar to the whole series. So it is at least my theory that they took the plans for the whole, like the technology behind the Misk whole series, and then adapted some of that idea into what we come to know now as the Raylan. So this ship it's been announced last year, but it hasn't been released to the verse yet, even in lore. So it will come out very soon. But it is a kind of like the Xi'an's version of the whole sea, is the best way of putting it. But a little bit more luxurious. With that, let's go look at the last Aopoa ship. Oh, I guess we do have the Banu Merchantman. I didn't see that in my other tour. All right. Well, this is the Banu Merchantman. This is made by the Banu Sulis, like we said before. the Banu Suli. So the thing about the Banu Merchantman that makes it unique is that this is not just a ship, it is a flying headquarters for a Suli. Many Sulis actually have Banu Merchantmans as their headquarters because they have negotiation rooms, they have a bazaar, they have medical bays, and they have a small ship hangar bay. So the Banu Merchantman is designed exclusively to be a commercial vessel in Banu space. It also has plenty of cargo space as well. Now, the Banu Merchantmans that we are getting, just like the Banu Defenders, they are export versions of that ship. And that's what we have here. It's just a export version. Many Sulis make Banu Merchantmans, but this Banu Merchantman was made under a certain specific contract with very specific regulations. So if you get a Banu Merchantman from actual Banu space, it may look wildly different from what we see here in human space. All right. Now, this is the last ship that's on offer. This is the the Aopoa Santok Yai. Now, the Santok Yai, it's important to understand about the Santok Yai is that the Santok Yai literally means the ship that gives genuine fear. That's what its literal translation is, the ship that gives genuine fear. The thing about it is it's actually named after a flighted creature, a flying creature known as the Tokyai, which means the animal that creates genuine fear. So you can think of the Santok Yai as a similar way of humanity naming a ship the Hawk or the Falcon. Same concept. And the Santok Yai is the civilian version of a military ship that the UEE classifies as Ares. It's actually a fairly recent development. The Santok Yai's military version was first spotted by UEE flights in 2915. And for a species like the Xi'an, who are very reticent to update old technologies because they think in terms of centuries, this is a unique change. This is, for all intents and purposes, the Xi'an's answer to the Hornet. As humanity has expanded and has advanced in technology, the Xi'an have realized that they need to keep up with humanity because they could be a threat in the future. So they began to develop their own ships to counter human ships. This is the first one of those, which is the Santok Yai. Now, in an interesting story, the 4 Santok Yais actually crashed on an icy moon somewhere between human and Xi'an space because of a problem with oxygen. The UEE had a secret surveillance base that was nearby and actually picked up their distress calls, but they didn't want to relay the distress call to the Xi'an because they would let them know that they have a secret base in effectively no man's land. So they told some nearby human destroyer group to investigate the area where they went down, being kind of very vague about it. So the UES Eagle's Talon went to go investigate the site, found the wreck sites, and dispatched rescue crews to try to save the Xi'an pilots. And unfortunately, only one pilot would survive. But one pilot did survive in the wreckage, but was trapped in the wreckage. So the crew, an entire rescue crew, tried to de-ice the wreckage to try to move the wreckage out of the way. Didn't realize that they were pointing their effectively heat guns at Xi'an munitions, which had gotten loose, and blew up, killing the rescue crew and the pilot. But one pilot did survive and was rescued and brought back to the Xi'an. And it was a great diplomatic success for both parties. Personally, my belief is that is one of the reasons why we have a civilian version of the Santok Yai, because it was kind of a, hey, this is a nice gesture for what you've done for us. And because, at that point, the Xi'an knew humanity had seen and studied the military versions of their ship. So that is what's on offer here for the Alien Manufacturers Day here at IAE 2952. If you're watching this after the fact on YouTube, hope you enjoyed this. Make sure you hit that like button and, of course, and subscribe, obviously. I want to know in the comments below your thoughts on these alien ships. Do you want to know more about alien ships? Do you like these alien ships? What kind of alien ships do you want to see? And, of course, join us live at 3 p.m. Eastern every day of the sale up to Saturday for these lore tours, these floor tours. And like I say every time, hope to see you someday in the black. All right. All right. Sorry about that, y'all. Just need to mute for the end. Thank you for coming in. We're going to be moving on to Dark Tide here for a little bit. So if y'all want to hang out to watch that, you feel free to. Those of you watching on YouTube, thank you for watching for this whole live stream. And bloody ad popped up in the middle of that. Yeah. Well, don't worry. There is going to be this full thing will be available on YouTube starting tomorrow. I might actually put it up tonight. Just get it out. I'll have it done before the night's over. So, but we'll be back. We'll be back for another tour tomorrow for the Anvil Day. So that's going to be a big one because we're probably going to see the first the C8R, the rescue version of the Pisces. So good to do that. Nice walk good strats. That was 100%. So the next time we'll not have ads. That works too. Thank you for that one and only. All right, y'all. For those who watch listening on YouTube or here on Discord, thank you for doing so. I'm gonna pop down to a Dark Tide channel for those of you who want to join me for Dark Tide, because I know a lot of y'all have to do other things. So if you don't, you want to stick around, feel free to. Otherwise, thank you all for hanging out, and thank you for watching.